Surge foils, are they surging in price right now, or are they on the decline? Maybe they're surging the other way. For the most part, not all of them. Some of them actually are going up in price, some of them are pretty stable, but for the most part, it looks like a lot of people are not focused on surge foils and more on serialized cards. Let's take a look at some of these surge foil prices from the Lord of the Rings. The first surge foil I wanted to show you guys was Cavern of Souls, which is also Paths of the Dead. Now, its all-time high was about $600, and it has dropped down to $455 right now, and it looks to have stabilized, but again, Cavern of Souls, it's actually a very, very desirable card for a lot of players in Commander, so it might actually keep the price elevated. But if you see some of the prices of other cards that are maybe underused in the Commander format or other formats, you'll see the crazy price disparity. Now we're going to show you Glittering Caves of Aglaron, which is also Gemstone Caverns. This one's been holding up really well with a high of $514. It looks like it's dropped a little bit to $454, but that's still a pretty good price considering how much Cavern of Souls has dropped. Next up here is Balin's Tomb, which is also Ancient Tomb. This is probably one of the most sought after cards in the set, especially the spoilers. I just love the flavor text there. Balin, son of Fundun, Lord of Moria. Now this Surge Foil's price was at $425 at its all-time peak, and then it has dropped dramatically down to $375, but it looks to have stabilized for now there. But if you look at a lot of the sales history on these cards, there's maybe like one or two that sell within an entire week, so there's not a lot of crazy demand. But remember, these are very rare. They are hard to pull, very difficult to pull, and that's one of the reasons why they're so expensive. Next up here is the Party Tree, which has probably crashed the most out of any of these surge foils. My god, a crazy decline. Its all-time high was $400, and it dropped all the way down to $231, and now it's sitting at $261. But it is a great card. The Great Henge is a very popular card in the Commander format, probably the most powerful card for Commander in Throne of Eldraine, even with maybe all the bans like Oko. Let me know what you think about that down below in the comments though. We have the Dead Marshes, which is Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and this one has declined like crazy, sitting at $450 at its all-time high at release, and now it has lost almost half of the value, sitting at $247. Valley of Gorgoroth, which is also Wasteland, and this Surge Foil is actually not doing too bad, and one of the reasons why is it's not just a card for Commander, it actually is being played a lot in the Legacy format as well. So Surge Foil or not, this is still doing well. Its all-time high was about $218, and it's only dropped a little bit to $215, so showing some really good strength. Morgul Knife, which is also Shadow Spear, and this card is sitting at $201 for its market price, and that's actually not too low considering its all-time high was $203, so it's actually barely dropped, so still a lot of demand for this card. Helm's Deep, which is Shinka, the Blood-Soaked Keep, and this Surge Foil has dropped quite a lot, sitting at $213 for its high, and now it's dropped down to about $196, so a bit of a drop, nothing like we've seen with some of the earlier cards on the list, but nonetheless a drop indeed. 3 rings for the Elven Kings, which is also Rings of Brighthearth. Not a very expensive card in any other version in Magic the Gathering, but this is definitely the most expensive version of the card as of right now. Its all-time high was $220.16, and it has dropped down to $193. Still pretty expensive for this card in my opinion, although I do think that the artwork on it is stunning. Ring of Barahir, which is also Sword of the Animist, and this Surge Foil has dropped like a rock at $300 at release, and it's dropped all the way down to $175 with a huge decline. It doesn't look like it's stabilized yet, so the bottom could be even lower than this. Let me know what you think the bottom for this card is going to be. Dol Amroth, Minamo, School at Water's Edge. Now the Surge Foil as well has pretty much dropped like a rock, sitting at $200 at release for about the first few days, and then just immediately drops down to about $167. Barrowdown's Bajuka Bog, and this is obviously a card that people use in Commander, but apart from Commander, it doesn't see a lot of play, and it's actually the cheapest out of all of the cards that were actually done in the Surge Foil treatment, and it was sitting at $176 actually. It went up at release for a brief moment and then crashed all the way down to $163.79. Green Dragon Inn, which is also Homeward Path, and the Surge Foil has dropped like a rock, except it has stabilized a little bit at the end for the last few days. Now it started off at about $260 and it's dropped all the way down to $93.64, and that is a huge drop. That's about a 60 to 70% decline in price. White Tower of Eclothon, which is also Caracas, which is a phenomenal card. Unfortunately, it's banned in so many formats. Now, the Surge Foil did start at about $80 and it dropped all the way down to $76, so not that much of a decline. I actually think that if I was going to spec on any of these cards, this one might be the card that I would spec on, just because Caracas is such an iconic card, originally from Legends, obviously, and it had a reprint as well in Eternal Masters. I think it's just a good card in general, and I'm surprised to see it this low. Inn of the Prancing Pony, which is Pillar of the Perrons. Now the Surge Foil has also plummeted. It's currently sitting at about $61.22 for its market price, but you know, you have to think about the fact that this card also isn't seeing a lot of play, so it's on the decline, which is not a surprise. Medusald Golden Hall of Edoras, which is also Castle Ardenvale. Now the Surge Foil, is, believe it or not, went up in price. It started at about $20 and has went all the way up to $58.57, and its all-time high was $60.86. Now it has declined a little bit in the past few days, but is that just a blip in the system? I mean, it's still a pretty cheap Surge Foil if you consider basically every card has been over $50 so far, so who knows? Maybe this card will be on the decline, or maybe it's actually going to stabilize and potentially go up. Redhorn Pass, which is also Mouth of Ronem. This Surge Foil from Lord of the Rings has also went up, and then it looks like it's went on the decline, but it's basically stabilized right now. Its all-time high was about $61.66 and is currently sitting at $57.83, so not a bad price to maybe pick this up if you think that there is going to be some stability for these cards in the future, or if you're a collector, maybe it's going to go down even further. Remember, this set has only been out for a week, even though it feels like it's been out for over a month. Based on all the content, all the opening videos, and all the discussions about this set, it's basically consumed everything in the Magic the Gathering ether. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know, what is your favorite Surge Foil, and are you collecting Surge Foils? I'd love to know your thoughts about that down below. See you in the next one. Use promo code Mattcaster for 5% off your order at Face to Face Games, Canada's largest Magic the Gathering store. Qualified orders get free shipping Canada-wide if you use our promo code Mattcaster at checkout. Whether you're buying singles or sealed product, use our code to support the show and get a discount.